Guys, what's up? It's GVKcollectibles, and today we're going to be taking a look at another McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 figure, but not just any Mortal Kombat 11 figure. This is going to be a special guest, and it is also the 12-inch Commando Spawn. What's up, guys? As I said, today we'll be taking a look at the 12-inch Commando Spawn from Mortal Kombat 11. So this, I believe, is like the first, like, big fig, or not big fig, really, like the 12-inch scale figure that McFarlane has done for really any of the Mortal Kombat figures. I could be completely wrong. This guy, and I think also, not the same series, but there is the My Hero Academia Deku, that is the exact same scale as this, the 12-inch scale. Both look really, really fantastic. And I was actually initially going to pre-order this on Amazon. I had this pre-order for Amazon, canceled it just because I wasn't sure. Then I went to my comic book store, Mythical Mountain, as you all know, and they had it. So I was like, you know what? I might as well. I love when McFarlane does these big 12-inch figures, and, well, they don't really do 12-inch figures. Back in the day, they did the 8-inch figures. I have the Spartan Lock still, and I think I have the Lord Salad too, which is really, really cool. So anyway, you get this wonderful packaging, like always with all these wonderful McFarlane figures, the open window packaging. I really love the box of this. The figure looks outstanding, and of what I'm aware of, this figure doesn't have articulation, so it's going to be a little shorter of a review, because it's more like a statue, which I really, really love, and it kind of fits into, like, when McFarlane was initially doing 7-inch scale figures, this is kind of what the figures were. They were very just stationary. They reminded me of the old NECA figures from back in the day when they only did really, and even McFarlane, like, that was the figures of the time, but usually it works in this 12-inch scale. Would I love to see a articulated 12-inch Spawn figure from McFarlane? Abso-frickin-lutely, I would. But anyway, you get the side panel right here with Mortal Kombat 11, which looks really, really good. You get a really nice production shot of Spawn with his powers, which look really, really cool. You get also the, like, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow McFarlane Toys on Instagram. Then you get the top, which looks really, really good. As I said, the box looks freaking fantastic on this thing. Then you got the bottom, which looks really cool. You got Warner Brothers, MK, and NetherRealm. So, with that out of the way, with the packaging out of the way, which is pretty short, not much I can say. You can see all the accessories and everything we'll cover later. But let's get this guy out of the packaging and see how he is. Here we have Al Simmons, aka Spawn, aka Commando Spawn from Mortal Kombat 11, and holy god, this thing is cool. It's pretty big. I think this is the first time I've ever seen a 12-inch scale figure from McFarlane, which I was like, I knew this guy was big, but man, I didn't really recognize how big this guy truly was until I got him out of the packaging. This figure is really, really cool. It made a lot of noise trying to get this guy out of the packaging. As you can see, the detail on, like, the cape and everything is so, so great. Like, I think this may top as one of my favorite McFarlane figures I think I've owned so far. And that's saying something. And, like, this figure, like, if you're looking for articulation, you come to the wrong place for this figure. It doesn't really have too much articulation to ask for, but for, like, something that is essentially a affordable statue, normally like a $40 statue, essentially, you're getting a lot out of this. Like, the sculpting, the detail, and if you love the Mortal Kombat design for Spawn, this is great, too. Actually, wish we got this. I wish this guy could get shrink down to the 7-inch scale, because holy, like, I hope the camera is doing its justice, because it is such a really, really cool, awesome figure. Like, I love the design of the Spawn figure. I love the magic effect that he comes with. I love the gun he comes with. It's a ridiculous over-the-top gun. The cape looks really, really great. Really fantastic detailing on it. I mean, what more can I say about this figure? He does come with a few accessories. The only two that you see right here, we'll get into those, and we'll get into the greater detail of the figure, and do some size comparisons, as always, to see what he scales with other 12-inch figures, see how he scales with, yeah, so with that being said, let's get into some of the accessories he comes with, which is only a few, but they're really cool. And as I said, Spawn does come with a few accessories. They're just probably minor accessories, only a few, but they are pretty cool. So I think first things first, he does come with a display base, and it is this gigantic thing, which is super huge. It's pretty much similar to a regular Mortal Kombat figure base that you get with any of the other Mortal Kombat figures within the 7-inch scale. It's just massive. It's a pretty big base. I mean, if you look, like it covers about half the round table, which is crazy to think. Then he comes with this gun, too, which I don't know what it is. It's definitely not a real gun, that's for sure. It's one of the fictional guns, which is okay, because Spawn is usually used to having, like, these big, gigantic, over-the-top weapons, which looks really cool. It's got some silver detailing, and it's pretty unlike the 7-inch figure when other weapons, like, within the 7-inch figure scale. This weapon is pretty solid. It is a solid plastic as opposed to the much more, like, posable plastic, like, say, the swords and everything that Spawn has. But it looks really good, really cool detailing on it. I really like it. It's an over-the-top gun, and I think I really wish this came with the regular 7-inch scale Mortal Kombat figure Spawn. Hopefully, we'll be getting my hope is we get a regular Spawn down the line, maybe a Commando 7-inch scale Spawn, if McFarlane does it. Please, Todd, because it is such a cool design, and I want to see it in the 7-inch scale. It's really cool, really well done. It has kind of like this gray kind of paint, like I want to say gunmetal almost, and it's not really too much detail. You don't get really too much dry brushing, except for these red stripes on the gun itself. But once again, it's a really great sculpted gun, like fictional gun. Now the main piece is his necroplasm. Like he's able to manipulate energy. It's weird. I need to get on reading Spawn because I need to read because I have the first volume and I've only gotten so far with it. But I also seen a little bit of the HBO show, the animated show, and that show was awesome. It was also so great that Keith David voiced Spawn, and then he eventually came back as Spawn in frickin' Mortal Kombat 11, which is just perfect casting, and also, like, the idea of having a super young Keith David as, like, Al Simmons, because even though I really like Michael J. White as Spawn, I do really like the idea of young Keith David playing Spawn. I think that would have been really awesome, really amazing. It's amazing casting anyway. Keith David is awesome. But yeah, this necroplasm effect is really cool, really well done. It's very, like, it's also very pointy too, so you may want to be careful, like, because it can poke you a little bit, but it looks really cool, really well done detailing, I think, and it's really cool and well done. So yeah, those are some of the, accessories that Spawn comes with. As I said, not too many to name the boot, which is fine, because the main centerpiece of the figure is the size you're getting it for, and also the look of it. The look of it looks fantastic. So, without me gabbing on, let's jump into the details of the figure. Here we have a close-up of Spawn himself, the Commando Spawn, and the detailing on the figure and the sculpting on the figure is absolutely outstanding. I think that's always a really plus of when McFarlane does these bigger size figures. You get, even though I think the 7-inch scale figures do have really great detail in them, you really see it shine within these bigger sculpts, I think, and especially this guy. This guy is really cool. As I said, he's pretty much very much a throwback to McFarlane's older figures, of course, and also, I would say, the early 7-inch stuff that he started to do when he transitioned into the 7-inch scale, where a lot of it was stationary, like Walking Dead stuff. The Titanfall stuff was notable for that, and I think that was it. I could be completely wrong. Oh, Gears of War 4. He did Gears of War 4 figures, and they felt very stationary. But the detailing on the suit is really great. It's different because it has, like, a lot of these combat padding to it, so if you compare it to the Mortal Kombat 11 design for Spawn, it is quite different, even though there's a lot of similar elements with this figure that the 7-inch scale figure shares. The thing that I love also, I love the kind of, mask right here. Right here, which looks really good. The eyes look super awesome, and they're showing up on camera really well. I hope it shows up really well in the final video of you guys watching this. But I think the detailing, like the eyes, are always such a cool and great thing. Like, if anything, on a Spawn figure, you want the eyes to look good, the green glowing eyes, and this looks fantastic. Like, to me, this looks so great. And you also get the bandolier right here with the grenades and everything, which look really great. Very much a silver silver paint right here, but it also looks like there appears to be some silver dry brushing on it, which looks really, really good. Same thing with the Brandelier, which looks really, really good with the bullets and everything. Like, Jesus Christ, this guy is massive. The cave looks amazing. I love the hints of like little black in here. The texture of it looks really, really cool. Like, that's always the coolest thing, like, I think about Spawn is the cape. I always think of the cape immediately because he has some, like, Todd designs and gave him the most over-the-top cape, and it looks fantastic, I think. The gauntlet looks awesome too. Look at the detail, like silver and the red. Really, really great. There is a little paint chipping on mine just because I was getting the gun into, which happens, but I think for those of you who maybe don't want to risk the paint chipping, even though like you're not going to really see it too well on the figure, I would definitely suggest using a hairdryer. Loosen those joints up, will work wonders. And as I said, this figure doesn't have too much articulation, so I figure I'd get it out of the way. He can move his arm like that. He actually can move his waist around, which is really, really good. And he had like this big bottom foot, this big boot that he can kick people with, rotates, which is really, really good. And that also helps you with like standing the figure up, which is really, really good too. But yeah, you also get, then you get a gun holster right here. This gun doesn't come out, unfortunately. Probably one of my biggest pet peeves, I think. A thing I really agree with Shartimus Prime on is the sculpted gun holsters. It just doesn't make sense. If I want a gun holster, it better be usable and be able to storage. Like that's my only issue. But like at the same time, I can't really complain of a figure this size, and the amount of detailing on the figure is really, really great and really, really well done. Then we've got the belt, the Spawn skull, which looks really, really good. The paint, yeah, it's just a really, really awesome, well-detailed figure. It's probably one of my new favorite McFarlane figures, I think, he has done. And it's not even necessarily like it's a figure, but it's not a figure. It's more of a budget statue, and it looks fantastic. Like, the design. That's what I always consider the 12-inch, whenever, like, if it was the old 10-inch figures that he did, or the 8-inch, they're usually really well-detailed statues that are at an affordable price, which I think is really, really great. But yeah, this guy is really, really awesome. I really love this Commando Spawn. Hopefully we get to see this guy in the 7-inch scale. So, before we really end the video, I want to do just a few little comparisons here and there. As I said, this is going to be a little shorter review because the figure doesn't have too much ridiculous articulation. But let's do some size comparisons to see what other 12-inch scale figures he scales with. Comparisons to some big figs that I have, or ones that are readily available where I don't have to move a lot of stuff. We have the old Mezco 12-inch Jason Voorhees from Part 7. This is like an old, really, really old figure from Mezco back in the like 2009 days. Here we have the Monster Movie series, Monster Movie King series, I believe it's called, the Godzilla, which looks really, really cool. And also the Lord Saladin from Destiny 1 Rise of Iron. And I actually thought he was actually smaller. They're actually roughly the same size, which is really, really cool to see these two next to each other. And this is probably how it's going to end up on my desk, because this guy's going to be posed probably right next to my PC, because he just looks so dope. But yeah, he's a big fig. He scales pretty well with other 12-inch figures, which I think is really, really good. I don't even think the Saladin is a 12-inch figure. I think it's 11 inches. But it still fits pretty good, I think, with scale. Here for size comparison, here he is compared to the regular 7-inch Mortal Kombat figure, Spawn figure. So it is pretty cool to see the difference in between these two designs. I really love both these figures. I think they're really great. I want this guy in this scale, but like I'm very happy with this guy. He's really, really cool. We have Spawn on the rotating base, and I backed the camera up as far as I could because I felt like the previous two shots weren't doing this thing scale. He is pretty big for a 12-inch figure, and as I said, the base takes up about like half the fucking circle height. But overall thoughts on the 12-inch Commando Spawn from Mortal Kombat 11. I think it's a really, really cool figure. Like, if you're looking for articulation, you're going to be a little disappointed. Like, I wasn't too disappointed with the articulation with this figure. I kind of knew what I was expecting when I saw photos and everything, and I like it. It kind of reminded me of, like, this dude right here, Saladin. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit, of where it was in the Locke figure from Halo 5 Guardians. It was very much like that, but on a much bigger scale, and really, really cool. But yeah, overall thoughts, I'm really, really impressed with the figure. I'm really glad I actually picked it up. I think it is a really, really cool Spawn figure. It's probably one of the best Spawn figures I think I own. I said that about like the first Mortal Kombat Spawn, but then granted, we haven't gotten the Gunslinger Spawn yet, or any of those new slow of Spawn figures that we are going to get. But overall thoughts, if you love the Mortal Kombat Spawn design, if you love the Commando Spawn design specifically, or if you just like Spawn in general, I suggest pick this guy up if you have the room for it. I think it's really, really cool, really well done, and really, really cool. It's really cheap and affordable. It's like only a $40 figure in comparison to maybe if you were spending like $70 on like, or even more, $1,000 on a Prime 1 statue, even though McFarlane really doesn't license out Spawn at all. But this, I think, if you want a really, really badass statue, this is as close as you're going to get to one. And yeah, those are my thoughts. I think, once again, really, really cool figure. And with that being said, that's the video. That's Figure Review Friday today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the figure review. Even though it wasn't quite a figure, it's more of a big statue with some articulation. But either way, if you guys like the video, make sure to hit like and hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you can get notified when we upload Come Out Monday, we upload What's in the Box Wednesday, and Figure Review Fridays, of course, of this one. Also check us out on Instagram, GVKcollectibles, and also check out my brother, Jack's Pop Guy. And also check me out on Facebook on GVKcollectibles. Links will be down below. It's pretty much like my Instagram page, I think, as I always say. And also check us out on our Mercari shops. We have a lot of really cool stuff. He's got a lot of cool Funko Pops. I got a lot of cool, like, older figures and stuff that I'm getting rid of. So not older figures, but stuff that I really doesn't fit in my collection anymore, and just kind of clearing up space. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be safe this weekend. And with that being said, peace, y'all.